Okay. So to each of you, good morning, happy Tuesday, and I am now welcoming you to what will be one of the very final pre-launch discussions of LEV AI. And when I say the very final, there's this one. We know we'll have one at 9 o'clock tonight. It is entirely possible that this is the last pre-launch discussion. It is possible that we receive emails today telling us that it's okay to activate our accounts. The most pre-launch discussions that we will have will be this one, tonight, and tomorrow morning, because LEV AI will be active tomorrow. It's been an extraordinarily exhilarating experience to begin creating a foundation upon which others will build for decades into the future. We're here to talk about a company called LEV AI. That stands for Leveraging Artificial Intelligence. The company's mission and vision is what? It is to bring accessible AI to the masses. Help you understand specifically what we talk about here. I remember with clarity, clear back in 1982, 83, I had a friend named Andy Kay, and Andy launched a company called K-Pro Computers. It was a contemporary of a direct competitor with Apple Computer. And I remember I saw one of the very first ones, one of the very first K-Pro computers. And I recall Andy telling me, Randy, the day will come when every desk in the world has one of these boxes on it. See, Andy could see the vision of the future, and all I could see was the reality of the present, a clunky box that didn't seem to work very well. Andy could see that global widespread adoption would be a mandate in the not too distant future. He became a catalyst, one of the key people in the industry that caused that to happen. And of course, his outcome was dramatically different than mine. I simply used the computer. A couple of years later, had a similar experience. I remember the very first dial-up modem and listening to the fax sound, and then watching the taskbars. It seemed like it took forever for that website to load with 56 kps. I mean, I just couldn't understand how that could ever catch hold. My vision was this far, but what about those people who could see that someday, one day, the entire world would be forced to be forced to adopt the internet? Folks, it's a similar moment right now. This is that kind of a moment. Contemplate and consider the number of people on planet Earth who use computers. That's the number of people who are going to use AI. Consider the people on planet Earth who use the internet. That's the number of people who are going to use AI. This is, in fact, the future in your hands right now. And once again, our company's vision is to do what? It is to deliver accessible, understandable, easy artificial intelligence to the masses, while at the same time delivering services that are sophisticated enough for the most advanced technology firm. As of course a great thrill of mine to acknowledge my son Blake as the president of the company. I did not make that hire. I would have if I could have, but I'm not the owner of the company. I'm not an officer or director. I'm an independent promoter, the same as you are or can be. I, of course, am very happy with this, but I'm happy with it for different reasons than you might guess. I'm happy with it not because he's my son. I'm happy with it because I know his operational effectiveness. Blake is an attorney. He was general counsel for a large direct selling company for a decade. He then ran the Monavie Israel office for a period of time, living in Tel Aviv. He then moved to Portugal, ran all of Europe and all of Latin America, ultimately Middle East, Latin America, Europe, and North America, all under his authority at a time when sales were in excess of $500 million globally in those markets. Blake knows and understands how to launch and grow businesses. His most recent success was as CEO of Medical Marijuana Incorporated when he guided that company through the end of the prohibition of cannabis. His non-compete recently expired, making him eligible to guide our company. And of course, I am thrilled with that. When I first began contemplating and considering AI, I had such a tiny little perception of what the future had in store. And literally, it was happening out there in the background, and I wasn't familiar with it. And then one of the first quotes that I saw was not this one. One of the first quotes that I saw was Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google. And what he said is that artificial intelligence will be more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Now, the reason that I mentioned that, and then that we mentioned this from Demis Hassabis, the deepest mind at DeepMind, who states that the difference here with AI is it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster, is because we have an opportunity and we all stand at risk right now. The opportunity is to fully quantify and understand the magnitude of the possibility and become a catalyst in causing that which is destined to occur just a tiny bit more quickly. Just one second. Hey, Blake, I'm on my morning Zoom. I'll call you as soon as I get off, okay? And so what we need to do is recognize that this is not simply a continuation or extension of our career, whatever it is. Look back over your shoulder. Nothing in your career or mine has been bigger than fire or electricity, has it? Nothing has been more profound than that. Nothing in our life's experience has been 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution, and maybe 10 times faster. And so it demands that we see this through a different filter. We cannot see this opportunity through the filter of our past experience and begin to quantify the magnitude. Let this thought sink in. The difference here with AI is that it's going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution and maybe 10 times faster. And so let's consider that from the challenging side first. What if at the time of the Industrial Revolution, your business was in making collars for draft horses who would pull plows? Then the industrial movement with tractors and diesel engines, industrial and internal combustion engines, see, did not accrue to your benefit, did it? Unless at the very first inklings of the arrival of this change, unless you were among those who, instead of clinging jealously to the past, you were able to see into the future and became a catalyst in causing that, which became 10 times bigger than anything that occurred before it up until that time, in causing that to occur more quickly. See, that is where this opportunity is. Everyone on planet Earth, 8 billion strong, will be compelled to adopt AI. No one had a choice to stay behind the Industrial Revolution. Even the Amish in Pennsylvania, they can try, but they didn't stay behind. That's not the truth. They were swept along with it, even in that little segment of society who tried to resist. We will all be swept along with it. That's a foregone conclusion. The question is, do we profit from it? Do we become wealthy from it? Do we cause other people to become wealthy as a result of being a catalyst and causing that which is destined to occur a little more quickly? Or do we cling jealously to the past, recognizing in advance that there are risks associated with that we will become obsolete? LEV AI makes it simple for entrepreneurs to, first of all, embrace and understand artificial intelligence. Then LEV AI makes it simple for entrepreneurs to launch, market, and grow businesses of any kind. Now, as I began evaluating the possibilities of AI some number of months ago, what I found as I stepped into the arena was a very convoluted and confusing mixed bag. Companies and individuals using one solution for CRM, customer relationship management, another solution for social media, and those two not communicating well with one another. A third solution to build and maintain websites, another solution to provoke business building behaviors. None of these communicating one with another. Each with its own subscription, each with its own login, each with its own cost. And this explains why, um, when one studies the inevitability of global widespread adoption, one can see incredible opportunity. And yet, when one looks at current results, reported results from people using AI, are the results have improved by 38% or so. Well, that's certainly not reflective of something that is more profound than fire or electricity, is it? No. And so, why is that? It is because beginning to play with piecemeal components is certainly not the same as learning how to leverage artificial intelligence all in one suite, all in one basket. That 38%, that will shortly change to 380% on its way to 3,800, on its way to 38,000, because this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything that we have seen, observed, or participated in the past. Recognize that there are 388 small businesses in the world. They each have some tiny bit of uniqueness, but what they have are far more similarities. And some of the similarities are that they all want and need more customers. The Levi solution will, not might, will make building and maintaining a candidate and customer list much easier. You'll understand that in just the next 10 minutes. Creates confidence about what to say throughout the engagement process, and it removes barriers that make people feel stuck. This is a big idea for me. My career has been one of somewhat substantial success. I produced more than $5 billion in revenues in my career and been paid royalties on that. There's been a lot of success in my career. But what I've discovered is that there are so many people who are more talented than I, whose needs were as great as mine, who, as opposed to doing all that which was required to succeed, found themselves being stuck. They just didn't do it. And when they didn't do it, that had the negative consequence of what? Of not receiving the benefit that Cicero described years ago when he said the skill to do comes from the doing. And so if I allow myself to get stuck, then I don't do, then I don't get the skill, then I don't get that further development towards leadership. And so creating strategies and processes that remove those barriers, that would be a big deal, a really big deal. You're going to understand in just a few minutes how LEV AI does that at, without question, a higher level than anything I've had an opportunity to see in the past. And we'll remove the fear of failure by doing what? By helping people stop experiencing it. That's the easiest way. In the suite of tools, in the overall LEV AI solution, there are a host of challenges which we seek to solve. It is, we'll just talk about each one, just mention what they are, and then look at each one in a little bit of depth. Online presence and consistency, CRM or customer relationship management. We'll take a look at website building processes, procedures, costs, and elimination of those costs, reminders, prompts to grow your business, and a monthly leads program. So it's very evident to me now at this stage in my life and career that one can, with quite a bit of accuracy, predict future results by measuring current influence. A person of broad influence today will likely have great results tomorrow. A person who has limited influence today will have a very hard time breaking through tomorrow. And so, growing one's social media presence is the simplest way to grow one's current influence, which results in future market value improvements. The entire LEV AI solution is focused on a host of outcomes, but a significant outcome is in growing your social media presence and therefore growing your future value. It's all very easy with the CRM inclusive in the LEV AI solution. One does simple screenshot import. And as you do your first screenshot import, recognize that at the end of that same day, you'll be able to eliminate your current CRM software and the resulting cost. If you're using Go High Level, for example, you're probably spending 3 times as much on just the CRM as you'll begin to spend on the entire suite. And our suite is significantly, just the CRM is significantly more efficacious than what you're currently paying 3 or 4 times for. As soon as you do a simple screenshot import, your LEV AI solution will immediately begin scanning, searching, coming to understand what is important to each member of your contact base. How? By scanning their social media profiles and then sending you a detailed report about what's important to them so you know where and how to engage with them. This is of immeasurable worth. This is one big movement in getting a person to not be stuck, to step forward in engaging in the activities required for success. We're going to come back around and talk about that a little bit more. Knowing what your candidate wants to talk about, would that not make it easier to provoke the conversation? I think so. Simple screenshot import, as we've described, and when you import it, you then get a report that tells you what is important to that candidate, and it drills down deep, giving you such a tremendous advantage in being able to meet the candidate where they want to be met. Physically, socially, mentally, what are they trying to accomplish? When you know what their needs are and are helping them meet their needs, now suddenly you become the friend, you become the advocate as opposed to the salesperson. You will eliminate whatever expenses you currently have in building and maintaining websites for your business or businesses, because that is all included in the AI solution at LEV AI. And now, this one is for me so very important. I referenced a moment ago that some people just get stuck. Over the course of my career, I've not encountered with anyone, literally not anyone, who has done all that which is required to succeed, but done it poorly and therefore failed. I've never seen it happen. Instead, what I have seen happen far too many times is people who got stuck. They just didn't do that which was required to succeed. And because they didn't do, they didn't develop the skill. And because they didn't develop the skill, they didn't get the new confidence, the new poise, the new self-esteem. That which might have been the very first step forward in leadership development was stymied at the very outset. And then I consider, why does it happen? Well, it happens because most of us start as employees, and employee participation is reactive. We react to our job, we react to our employer, our supervisor's demands, and there's a certain security in that. Then we find out the shoes are too tight. Wait, I want to work when I want, where I want, with whom I want, and if I want. I want to establish my own value. Well, I've never seen a job description asking for those things. Why? Because that's not reflective of a job. That's descriptive of entrepreneurship. And so you see, one has to make a switch, make a transition from reactivity to proactivity. And quite frequently, people wind up being stuck in the middle, simply not taking the actions required to experience the breakthrough that they're searching for. The easiest way that I can explain what the LEV AI solution will do to help you not be stuck anymore is to contemplate this thought. I'm a pilot, I fly airplanes, and I have an instrument rating. That means that I can fly in the clouds, and that sometimes I do fly in the clouds. Now, if I'm flying on a VFR, Visual Flight Rules flight plan, I'm navigating it myself, I'm looking around, I'm trying to get the lay of the land, I can see what's down there, and I am by visual sight, I am navigating myself to the next location. An instrument flight plan is quite different. Now one has no visual reference. We are in the clouds. We are flying on instruments. And when that happens, one of the great security blankets is that we have an air route traffic controller who is assigned to our individual airplane and or flight. And so now these prompts to get back on track. You imagine every step of the way from the point of liftoff to arriving at the destination, your individual air route traffic control tower assigning you altitudes at which to fly to stay safe, telling you which radio frequency to dial to so you can track between beacons, telling you if you're inadvertently getting off track. 6162 Romeo, please ascend to 1,000 feet to remain at or above the minimum en route altitude. 6162 Romeo, it appears that you've strayed 3 degrees off course. Please make a turn. 6162 Romeo, we observe weather in your path. We're giving you a vector to a new heading. Can you imagine how tremendously beneficial it would be for each new participant in our business to be getting that prompt from their own personalized air route traffic controller, which is exactly what will happen for all when you've got literally in your hip pocket at your side every moment your thought leader, your coach, your teacher, your mentor giving you those prompts that are specific to your life experience, specific to your goals and objectives, specific to your project. The skill to do will come from the doing in so many more instances that the resulting possibilities of success defy description based upon historic realities. Why? Because this is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Having an opportunity to have each new participant being constantly guided back towards the center line. This will change the percentage of successful participants in an entrepreneurial venture from 7 or 8% to 85%. More profound than fire or electricity, folks. This is a dramatic quantum leap forward. And then to further accelerate that movement from reactivity to proactivity, imagine at no added cost the ability to search a database of contacts who have indicated they want to know more. They want to know more about home-based business. They want to know more about AI. And they are now assigned to you for follow-up. Would it not be easier? Notice I said easier, not easy. But would it not be easier to engage in a conversation with someone who said, I want it, than it would be to provoke the conversation from someone that you want to have see it? This is of immeasurable worth. Once again, growing the person. One of the things that I found early on is I had some people saying, "Well, Randy, this is going to thwart leadership development because people are going to focus on letting the tool do it for them." No, the tool does what you teach it to do. You have to source the information. You got to find the content you want it to have. You participate in it. This does not replace you. This turbocharges you. There is more. Every plan includes your own avatar, literally a digital clone that looks just like you. Or if you choose, you can pick one from the library, give it any script, or use your personalized GPT to craft one for you. A personalized GPT, yes. 700 million people logged into Chat GPT in the last week. And when they logged in, they were looking for answers to questions, they were looking for solutions to problems, and they received them. But what they got were good answers and good solutions, not the perfect answer or the perfect solution. Why? Because ChatGPT was pulling from the body of knowledge that is the internet, which means that by definition, that general knowledge was not specific to the individual's project, therefore, to a degree, generic. And so now imagine instead pulling the specific content that is related to your process, your company, your comp plan, your leadership structure, your culture, a personalized GPT guiding each candidate back to that center line, guiding you to the center line, and unique to my life experience. Um, your digital twin can speak in 150 languages fluently. This is why we describe it as being more profound than fire electricity. I think that idea will get a little bit more clear for you in a moment. Simply upload a photo, I got my first look at my own avatar yesterday. I should have loaded it into the slides. Simply upload a photo, and a few moments back, you get who you're going to be in the digital world. If you choose, you can choose one from the library instead. You can give it your script. You can have your own personalized GPT create the ideal script. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, Blake, the president of the company, will do our next corporate update, and you will see a couple more of these avatars in action. It's really quite remarkable. If you've ever struggled with having a candidate list, realize you're not going to struggle anymore, because here in just the next few days, you'll be able to send. Let's imagine that everyone you know speaks English, and they know you don't speak Russian or Chinese. They don't have to understand the darn word that's being said. They only have to see you or a digital clone of you that is literally undistinguishable. They cannot discern it from you. And it's speaking fluently in Russian or in Mandarin. Don't you suppose that'll create conversations? And those conversations will lead to productivity. There's so much to this, folks. There's the surface values, and then there are the more intricate values, the surface values, and then the nuanced values. For the first time in my career, tremendous price advantage. Always in my career, I've had to explain away the price of a premium product or service. Now we offer a premium product and service, the best, the most comprehensive, the most cohesive, and yet we offer it at the best price too. Really hard to do, folks. This is a magic moment in a variety of ways. Your AI video is your likeness, your voice, speaking your script flawlessly in just about every language in the world. And you can even use AI, your personalized GPT, to craft a script. Social, this is your AI writing assistant, which starts from the very first moment, provoking interactions with your social media contacts, provoking the development of new contacts, and growing the relationship with each. It is part of the process, which improves your future value by changing significantly your social media presence almost overnight. Business profiles. What if you own an automobile dealership and you also develop teams in a direct selling company? Two very different messages. If you have more than one message to deliver, you'll need to acquire the Pro package so you can load multiple business profiles into that digital avatar. Social media growth and engagement, once again, not even something that you have to be specifically involved in on a daily basis. Just turn the system loose and let it do what it does to grow your social media presence. A CRM with screenshot import, granting you the ability to know what the candidate wants to talk about every step of the way. A complete elimination of the cost of maintaining websites and building them, because you can do it yourself in a matter of minutes. I love the fact that the enhanced CRM, telling you all that the candidate wants to know and learn about, and guiding them through a step-by-step, pragmatic, proved predictable pattern of activities to allow each one to arrive through a professionally built funnel, professionally built by your LEV AI solution, to their point of logical conclusion. And finally, a candidate pool more than 2 billion strong of people who have asked for information, and based upon your subscription, you will have a number of those to communicate with every month, as will everyone in your group. And now bang the gong and ring the bell, folks. To the extent that you are a content creator, and there are many of you who are, there are some who are not, we'll help you become one. But to the extent that you're a content creator, you've lived life in fairly in larger ways over the years, you've had a lot of experiences. In my own case, I know that I'm not all that, but I've lived life kind of big. I have, and I've had a lot of experiences. I have literally hundreds of hours of content from YouTube videos and so on that are already loaded into my interactive avatar. The density of the content that you upload will determine how conversation-like is the interaction. If you have sparse content, then it will not be especially conversational, though still interactive. The density of the content can turn it literally into a conversation. This is of great value for all of us. For those who don't yet have your own density of content, pick a thought leader and, with his or her permission, load theirs. Any of you are welcome to load any of my content. Why? Because when I'm helping you grow your business, I'm growing mine. This is something we do together. It's not something we do in competition one with another. It's something we do in cooperation one with another. When I say unmatched value, folks, I don't believe that you could recreate what we sell all in one package anywhere, no matter what price you're willing to pay. If you were willing to pay that price, it would certainly be a lot more than $315 a month. And if you were right now to go out and try to buy the individual applications to replicate what we do, it would not do what we do. for the one simple reason that none of these individual apps would be speaking one with another. Whereas at LEV AI, they are, therefore learning from each other, and the body of knowledge created by the artificial intelligence itself is influencing every other part of the equation. Quite remarkable, but for the first time in my career. The best, the most sophisticated service for the best price, too. That's really hard to do, folks. And when we measure the market opportunity, this one is for me a challenge. How high is up? How big is big? There are 8 billion people on planet Earth. 3.5% of them right now use AI. The other 96.5% of them will be compelled to use AI. They don't have a choice, with more than 3/4 of that number adopting in the next 4 years. And so you tell me, how big is that next 48-month window as an entire global society adopts AI? And at this moment in time, we have the single finest iteration of it at the very best product, at the very best price. This is a time to create a foundation which can stay in place literally for decades and create a residual, ongoing, to some degree, take on a life of its own income stream based upon the ongoing subscriptions of those who have embraced LEV AI, because it was their gateway to what? It was their gateway to accessible artificial intelligence. None of us have a choice. We have no choice as to whether or not we will adopt. Yes, we will adopt. The choice is, will we be a conduit to other people's adoption? Recognizing that every single person you know is going to use AI. The question is, will you introduce them to the best value and most comprehensive service in AI so that they have the best experience? In so doing, by helping them get the best experience every time they choose one of those packages, $49 or $99, you'll get paid 50%. There's no limit to how many times you can do that. We have at least one person in our business who in the last week has already enrolled over 500 customers, not people who are going to use the tool to grow a LEV AI business, but they're going to use the tool for the sake of the tool. Hundreds of customers being enrolled by some people already. And every time that happens, you get an acquisition bonus of 50% of their purchase price. And then every time that customer or member that you personally enrolled, first generation, every time their subscription comes due, you'll make 20%. I spoke with a person yesterday who has a database strong enough. He has 1 million text messages going into this database the day that he has his digital avatar, one day in the next handful of days. 1 million text messages. All 1 million of those people he's sending the message to, every one of them are going to use AI, every single one. The question is, are they going to use the best product at the best service? If the answer is yes, and they do it through his imprimatur, he'll receive a 20% commission on each one of those every month that they pay that membership. Folks, this is not like something you've experienced before. Whatever you're thinking of as up is not up. Whatever you're thinking of as big is not big. This is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. Reframe your thinking. Do not let your vision of the future be limited by the experiences of the past, because this transcends that. This transcends the past. And for those who seek to build organizations, structures in depth, we offer a simple 8-level, deep, unilevel plan, that 20% Gen 1, as I've described, and then 7 more generations. Really important to note, this compensation plan is cash-based. There is no artificial dilution from the dollar into the company to some artificial figure of BV, business volume, CV, commissionable volume. No, a dollar in goes to the comp plan. So that Gen 1, that's 20% of cash. And then 7 further generations of leadership structure with 4% payout on each of those next 7 generations. Then whenever there is an idea that is right for the time, the market tells you. I used to be a stockbroker, and what I was told was, Randy, don't fight the tape, don't argue with the market. The market predicts the future. And so if the stock market is going up, that is the preponderance of all finance minds in the world projecting that the economy is going to improve. That's what a bull market means. A bull market means the economy is going to improve. These stocks are going to be worth more in the future. A bear market means that things are going to get difficult and these companies are not going to be worth as much because their sales go down. Listen to the market. That's also true in our business. Listen to the market. 35 or 36 days ago, we had our very first conversation like this one with 16 people on it. There's not been a penny spent on advertising. We just crossed over 40,000 early adopters, folks. Listen to the market. That 40,000 in 1 month, that will be 400,000 sooner than you can imagine it. If I told you when I believe it'll be 400,000, you'd probably think I was a little bit nuts. It will happen almost overnight as soon as people begin using this service and seeing it in action. And that 400,000 will turn into 4 million before you know it. And that will still be the absolute genesis. We have 8 billion people on planet Earth who will be required to adopt. Whenever there's a mass movement, that will bring huge numbers of people into the business. That requires the compensation plan have a mechanism which incents leadership to work very, very deep, because the availability of leadership to teach such a huge flow of people into the business in a short time can be strained. The compensation plan must recognize that and incent leadership to work very, very deep. That occurs here with a infinity payout that retains that 4% payout indefinitely for a leader until such time as he or she replaces themselves in depth. And then check match. This is for me the best. This is where the biggest checks will come and the best. Why do I say best? Because when we earn because others earn, that is the highest earnings, and that's what check match is. Unique to this company, that check match applies to all parts of the compensation plan. When someone in your business earns a acquisition bonus, you get a check match. When someone in your business earns a team commission in the unit level, you get a check match. When they earn an infinity payout, you get a check match. And there is no limitation to how many check matches one can earn, and there's no limitation to what the aggregate size can be. And whatever you're contemplating considering as being up is not up. This is more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. And this simple schematic shows the remarkable ease with which this company is allowing people to progress through ranks. One can live at the absolute top of this compensation plan with only $100,000 in monthly volume. Over the course of my career, I have never been in a comp plan that allowed me to be at the top of the plan with fewer than $1 million in monthly volume. What does this say? It says the company wants everyone to make money, not just a handful of people at the very top. Some very quick launch updates, and these will be insufficient because I am not corporate. This is simply me repeating what I've heard said. Blake, the company president, will make specific updates tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. The LEV AI application, I believed up until last night that this was going to be available the day the company goes live, and it's not quite yet. The company's going live this week. The company's going live tomorrow in some parts of the world, not in all parts, but the company goes live in some parts of the world tomorrow, in the balance of the world in the next few days. The application, as of now, looks like it's perhaps 10 days to 2 weeks later. The back office is ready to go 100% right now. Those of you who are already registered are seeing the back office, but you're seeing it with very limited functions turned on. When the company goes live, and for most of us, for many of us, at least on this session, that will be tomorrow. When the company goes live, you'll then have access to all of the back office functions. If you have already enrolled members in your business, please today, this is important, please today go to your back office, go to the resources tab and learn how to place them. All pre-enrollment members must be placed by the end of the day today. That's it, folks. If they're not placed by the end of today, they become permanently on your front line. So please go take a look at the resources tab, learn how to do it, log in, look at the waiting room, and make sure that everyone is placed by the end of the day today. Multi-language support is already in existence, 10 languages, many, many more coming. Because we chose to not allow even one grain of sand of opportunity to filter from the top of the glass to the bottom of the glass, we chose to come to market now, this week, even knowing that there would be some markets where credit card processing would be difficult until we establish local relationships. That will not be a big problem long term. It is one of our owner's primary businesses. We'll talk about that in a moment. But if you live outside of the United States and Canada, please today, do not let today come to a close without you having a PayPal account. So if your credit card is not supported until we get local processing, that you have an alternate solution. Also realize that we will begin accepting crypto to receive money and pay money. That will start happening within a week. Remember, I said a moment ago that it will likely be, I can't say this is a fact, but there will likely be a staged opening with some markets where we know that we have a very, very, very high percentage of credit cards that will be accepted immediately. Some of those markets will open tomorrow. And the balance of the markets opened in fewer than a week from today, a week or less. I'm believing either Friday or Monday, because that's the day that we will PayPal is available every place right now, but by then we'll be able to accept crypto, and we don't want anyone to have frustrating experiences with trying to get payments in. If you are not yet following this company on all social media, please do. You don't want to miss any information ever. This has been among the most pleasant things that I've ever done, simply because everyone is wanting to talk about what we talk about. Don't make this hard. Let it be easy. Once again, don't make it hard. We make it hard. Let it be easy. Go to youtube.com/at GetLevAIHQ and there copy the link for the sizzle video. 90 seconds long. It describes our message. Then do what I do if you want what I get. And so every night, right before I go to bed, 50 times, I do the following. I create a little script, and the script says something like this, and it doesn't have to be precisely this. There's no magic to it. But are you aware of and are you participating in the global adoption of artificial intelligence? And have you determined how to leverage it to your benefit? Or might you be at risk of being victimized by it? Please review the video below and then let's talk. And then beneath that, then what do I put? I put the link for the sizzle video. Beneath that, I put the registration link for my account. And once again, this morning when I woke up, I already had enrolled new members because I sent that 50 times last night. And when I sent it, I wasn't considering who I was sending it to. I went to my phone because 100% of the contacts in my phone are going to have to use AI, all of them. Therefore, there's no picking and choosing. And so I just go to a letter of the alphabet, C's, and I send the message to 50 people whose name starts with C. Send, 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 send 50 times with no emotional investment whatsoever. I'm looking for the person who is actively looking right now. When I find the person who is talking about and actively looking for AI right now, that's the person who says right now they register and then they say, Randy, let's talk, help me understand this. Since August 7th, which was the first day that I decided formally to engage in the business, August 8th was my registration day. There have only been 2 days since that time when I've not personally enrolled at least one member, where there was not at least one new member enrolled overnight as a result of that behavior I've just described to you. One day out of my phone contacts, the next day out of my Facebook Messenger contacts, the next day out of my LinkedIn contacts, the next day out of my Instagram contacts. Send, 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 send. 50 times, simply letting the tool look for the person who is looking for what I've got, not trying to convince anybody of a darn thing. I said a few moments ago that we wouldn't have any trouble with long-term credit card issues. And here's why. It is because though this is a brand new company, we are owned by an enterprise that has deep, deep, deep footprints all over the world. Terry LaCour owns this company, and LaCour Enterprises is the global service provider for LEV AI. This company's meteoric rise in these first days is made possible by the following things. Terry's businesses include LaCour Payment Technologies, access to leading back office commissions and operating history, hundreds of years of collective team experience, over 25 years of micro enterprise experience, $7 billion in historic revenue. And so you see under the overarching umbrella of LaCour Enterprises and under the direct daily guidance of Blake as president of the company, we have an opportunity to be at the absolute genesis, at the foundation, and yet suffer none of the risks that are typically a part and a parcel of that. And so notice it doesn't ask you, are you ready to use AI? Because it doesn't matter if you're ready or not, you're going to be compelled to use AI. That's not one of our choices we will all use. The choice we have to make is whether we will be the catalyst to other people's use. Will we be one of the causes of that which is destined to occur a bit more quickly? If so, then now, literally now, is the time to start. And that next bullet point, it says Lev AI will officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. This slide is 2 to 3 weeks old. 2 to 3 weeks ago, it said we'll officially launch in 2 to 3 weeks. That becomes tomorrow. That's what that becomes. Now, there is some chance that it actually launches today. Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern time, Blake will do the next corporate update. If the company has not yet launched by that time, it will at that time. Notice I didn't say it might, it will at that time. It may launch between now and then with the corporate broadcast tomorrow, then giving guidance and so on. So I invite you to stay closely tuned for the next 24 to 48 hours. This company will be officially operating, delivering products, generating sales, generating commissions by the end of the day tomorrow. This is a magic moment, folks. It's not like any moment we've seen before. Today, if I could snap my fingers and cause every person who receives this message to understand it for what it really is, were I somehow able to do that, then I can say with absolute complete confidence, this is not something I think, it's something I know. Were I able to do that, then today would be the largest new member application day in the company's history. if I were somehow able to snap my fingers and get out of my head what's there yours right now, based on all that I know, see, and understand, then today would be the largest new enrollment day thus far in our history, because it gets tangible and it gets real tomorrow in some parts of the world, and in the next handful of days in all of the world. And this, again, we've gone from nothing to 40,000 participants almost in hiding in a 1 month period of time. Those 40,000 applicants, we're going to have days with 40,000 applicants in the foreseeable future. You say, Randy, those are crazy numbers. What did Sundar Pichai say? He said this will be more profound than fire or electricity or anything we've done in the past. And so we cannot measure what is possible here by what was possible in the past. This is going to be 10 times bigger than the Industrial Revolution, maybe 10 times faster. See, we can't measure what is going to occur tomorrow by what has occurred in the past. We're going to have 40,000 applicants per day in the not too distant future. Make it, let it be that you're among those who see with clarity what the possibilities are, and that you become a catalyst to other people's early adoption. Your family and your heirs, believe it or not, will be grateful you made that choice. See you this evening. Let it be a great day. Bye-bye.